for a great conversation about the direction of travel. Oh, now it's working. Great. Okay, we're straight on to our next session, and thanks, Ranjit, for a really great conversation about the direction of travel across this region and how financial services is changing at pace, no matter what generation you're from. Moving swiftly on now, I'd like to welcome Mastercard to the stage. I'm going to give a talk. We have you. Yep, so can I welcome Amnah Ajmal from Mastercard, talk about the future of fintech to the stage, please. Very good. If you want to take questions, let us know. If you want to. Yeah. Somebody wants to.
Hello? Is it working?
I don't know. You have to keep it very close because it's quite noisy. Yes.
Yeah?
I think so.
Okay. Hello. Good afternoon. I don't hear a good afternoon. Good afternoon. Great. So, I'm talking about the future of fintech, but I'm not a futurist. So instead of talking about the future of fintech, I would like to take you to the past. My clicker doesn't work. Do I have to do it from here? Okay. So a very wise man said that study the past if you would divine the future. Why do I say that? I say that because I believe that human beings have the same basic needs since inception. Our needs have evolved, and technology has evolved to meet those evolved needs. So let me take you back many, many years back and talk about marketplaces. Some strange thing. Okay. So, since human beings have existed on Earth, there has been some form of trade. In the ancient civilizations, sellers and buyers would get together on a Friday in a city center. Sellers would have all kinds of things, from spices to ceramics to livestock. And buyers would get together under this one roof. Why? It was about convenience. I could talk to like-minded people who bought that product. It was all available under one roof. These bazaars spread to Greece, to the Arab world, and to many different parts of the world. The concept was very, very simple. It was value for money, because as a buyer, I could go from stall to stall and get the best value for my money. 5,000 years later, the world's first marketplace went online. It was the Boston Computer Exchange Company, which was just used to buy and sell used computers. It was operated on an IBM computer with 2 floppy disks. I don't know how many people are old enough in this room to remember the floppy disks. There you go. Me too. And then, there's something strange with this clicker. Okay. Now, you have hundreds of marketplaces at your fingertips. And what are these marketplaces? They're providing you a very efficient way to shop for whatever you want at convenience. And today, the total world's half of online commerce actually happens on these marketplaces. But what would the future of these marketplaces be? These marketplaces are actually the bazaars of Tabriz. The future places of marketplaces was actually predicted by the BlackBerry founder in 2010. He talked about why would people log into so many apps? Your clicker really doesn't work. Okay, why would people log into so many apps if actually they could log into one? So what the BlackBerry founder predicted was that eventually all these apps would evolve into an ecosystem of apps. Guess who all in our region is doing it? You see ride-hailing companies doing it. You see retailers doing it. You see telcos doing it. And that actually is the future of marketplaces. But the basic fundamental human need to shop at one place for convenience has not changed. What has changed is the technology which has evolved now to meet the need. When I look at the future of fintech, this is one of the trends that I would say, in my point of view, is here to stay and will keep on evolving till it evolves into super apps. The most successful example for completely different circumstances is WeChat in China, where you can buy a banana and a mortgage in the same app. Of course, it's successful because of many different reasons, but that's what the future of some kind of super apps could look like. Let me go to the next trend. Buy now, pay later. Many of us have seen in the last few years, buy now, pay later apps. It's available at point of sale. It's available online. It started in the Great Depression in the 1930s when people did not have enough disposable income. At that time, it was called lay it away. So meaning, I like a good, I will go and tell the shopkeeper, please keep it away from me. I'll keep on coming every month to give a deposit, and finally, I'll take my item away. And then later, it evolved to buy today, pay later. So the basic fundamental human need that you have a purchase for which you do not have financing, but you have the intent to pay for it, has always been there. What has happened now is that technology has evolved for buy now, pay later to happen at point of sale as well as in the online space through different apps. Gosh, I don't know what's with this clicker. I think I have to use this. The clicker doesn't work. No worries, I can use the laptop. So 30 years later, you have different apps who are actually using the buy now, pay later phenomena. Okay, sure. Okay, let me move on to another trend. In ancient civilizations, for many cultures, tribes, and families, they were monograms. These monograms could be on your hat, they could be on people's clothes or furniture. They were used for their identity. Why? Because I wanted to be associated. I wanted to be understood for who I am. By the way, many tribes, even till date, use it. What is personalization? Personalization is an expression of identity. I don't know how many of you remember the MSN bios. I mean, if anybody had a heartbreak, the first thing you would do is actually go to MSN and write a statement of how you're feeling, right? A great example of who took personalization to the next stage is Starbucks. They never give you a number. They never call you by a number. They may mispronounce your name. Like all the years I lived in Poland, instead of Amnah, I was called Anna by Starbucks, but they call you by your name. It's personalization. It's a very small thing. But if somebody calls me by my name, I feel good about it. It's a very small thing. Now, if I look at personalization in today's age, what is it? At one point in time, if people saw their name on an email, it was revolutionary. And now you can think about a shoe. And if you log into Instagram, there would be an advertisement of the same shoe. That's what personalization has become. And it's a trend that will actually continue to take off. It's a trend that most companies are today capitalizing on because it has real value. It goes back, centuries back, into the basic fundamental human need of connecting with your own identity. Let me talk about the last trend that I would talk about today. I'm sure many people at this conference have talked about it. Artificial intelligence, everybody is talking about it. What do these black and white, gray-haired men have to do with artificial intelligence? Any guesses? Absolutely. So, in 1956, John McCarthy coined the term artificial intelligence. And these gentlemen met at an amazing conference and they hailed the new technology as artificial intelligence. They realized that an algorithm could do a much better job than human beings could do. So the question is, if artificial intelligence started in 1952, we are standing here in 2023. What took us so long? Why did it take so long for it to take off? It still hasn't taken off, by the way. Two things. Many people right now would talk about if AI is a hype or a reality. Okay? Before I go to the two things, I want to ask people in this room, how many of you, if you get unwell, God forbid, would first go to Google before a doctor? Show of hands. It's a basic fundamental human behavior, okay? Even before AI, we used to do that, okay? So, two things have changed from 1950 to now. One is that the cost of computing has gone significantly down. Computers in 1950s did not have the power to actually have so much of data being processed. Second, the rise in the computing power. This rise in computing power, coupled with the decline in cost, meant AI is no longer a hype. To give you an idea, an Intel computer chip today can process 10 trillion calculations in 1 second. What is 10 trillion transactions in 1 second? If you stack $1 notes, $1 currency notes, imagine you can go to the moon, come back, and halfway go back to the moon again. That's the power that computers have today. So it was not possible in 50s to scale a technology for which you did not have the computers. Today, in your pocket, you have a smartphone. Million times faster, a million times cheaper, and a million times more memory. That's why I believe AI is no longer a hype, it's a reality. There are two ways to look at AI in a very, very simple way, the way I feel the future will be defined, not through dogs and cats. Supervised learning. It's a very simple way what human beings would do, that I would take an image, I will clean the data, I would label it, I would tag it, I would then train the machine, and I will validate it. You don't need human beings to do that. Once you have told the machine, this is how a dog looks like, this is how a cat looks like, the machine would do it for you. Which means in every industry, the simple, mundane tasks can be automated. But that's not where the real future is. The real future is unsupervised learning. If any of you studied statistics, we had a term, I'm talking about in 1980s, called cluster analysis. It was very simple. This is what AI is doing today. It's basically taking segments of customers, and in unsupervised learning, without involvement of a human being, it will make those segments into clusters. It will recommend a product to this segment. It will then validate it if the customer took a product, and then train itself again. A very good example is Netflix. Out of thousands of images of a movie, the machine will choose one image that would appeal to you and a different image that would appeal to me. Based on who clicked that movie, it will actually train itself again and validate it. It's one of the technology that would actually help personalization scale in many, many industries. A second technique, very simple, could be association ruling. We have been doing it manually for years. For example, people who buy peanut butter are also the ones who are buying diapers, because kids and peanut butter they go hand in hand, right? We've been doing it manually through our data warehouse teams who would actually create these combinations and generate a database and actually market to people those offers. It's simple. Now a machine can do it for you. A machine can train itself back. I'm close to financial services industry, and I know many people over here are from fintech and banking. But I'm more curious to understand the use of artificial intelligence in industries that are beyond financial services. I'll just leave you with two examples today. AI has made it possible for apps to predict your biological age. So based on your social demographics, your lifestyle, your height, your weight, your sleeping patterns, once your biological age is determined, you can be matched with users who have a similar biological age. Recommendations can be provided to you to improve your health and your lifestyle. Let me move to agriculture. Farmers, through the help of artificial intelligence today itself, are actually improving the quality of production. They get valuable insights on the crops. They're able to actually have more efficient and precise farming. So these are just two small examples of the technology that's actually helping different communities today. The previous panel was talking about SME underwriting. You don't need a bank. I mean, I love bankers and I love banks. You can actually now underwrite SMEs by giving loads of data to the machines, be it your telco bills, be it your supplier payments, be it anything that actually is being touched digitally or in a physical environment. So my last two messages would be, and I love this quote by Bill Gates, that people often overestimate what they can achieve in a year and underestimate what we can achieve in 10 years. And that's the reality. Our corporate plans are 5 years, our business outlook is 5 years. If somebody would ask me that 10 years back, I would have imagined that people would be having virtual pets, I would laugh. I have friends today who, instead of buying their kid a real cat, bought them a virtual cat. And this 11-year-old kid would feed the cat in the morning that they can't see, they can't touch, come back from school and play with that cat. People are actually watering virtual gardens. 10 years back, I would not have imagined this. So we in this room have to think about not the future in the 5 years, but actually the future in the 10 years. And that's how we can actually start testing the technologies that are available today to future-proof our businesses. And what does it need? It only needs one thing. I don't believe that technology is an answer to our problems, or technology is a must thing to use. It's the mindset. And for that, we have to constantly reinvent ourselves, which means I have to unlearn and relearn. In today's world, in order to be relevant, in order to take advantage, scale your business, bring more efficiencies to your business, anything that you want to drive productively, efficiently for your business or corporation, you need to unlearn and relearn. That's that one thing that will actually define the future of fintech. I know I have like a minute left. I'm happy to take questions. Thank you very much. None?
Thanks, Amnah. Great conversation. Great talk there. Well done. Mastercard works with a lot of fintech companies.
You have a question?
I have a question.
Okay, sure.
Mastercard works with a lot of fintech companies. What are you based on your sort of thesis of the future of fintech? What might you tell innovation companies that have come to this event to sort of understand where the opportunities are? What are you telling the companies that Mastercard is working with on its various fintech and innovation programs in terms of how to build successful, scalable fintech businesses in this new reality?
Sure. So I think the panel earlier was also talking about it, but I will just frame it in a slightly different way. At Mastercard, we sit at the center of the ecosystem. So we see merchants, we see banks, we see fintechs, we see telcos. We're in the heart of the entire ecosystem. I feel our role is connecting different players so they can achieve scale, right? But I think what fintechs need to realize is that there is a regulatory landscape. In our region, there is no Brazil, It's fragmented. Each market has its own set of regulation. It's not easy to say I'm in UAE and yes, I want to expand to Saudi, I want to go to Egypt, or I want to go to Africa. Africa is huge, everybody is passionate about it, so am I, but it's not easy to go into Africa, right? So I think for a fintech, in order to achieve scale, I would say three things. First, help understand the collaboration models that you can have with large organizations. There's some value that those traditional organizations bring, be it compliance, be it KYC, be it regulatory, So you have to understand the roles and responsibilities. Okay, I bring agility because I'm a fintech. I bring a better user experience. But what I don't have is data. What I don't have is a customer base. What I do not have a great know-how of is regulatory compliance. Second, multi-market presence. I see a lot of fintechs talking about multi-market presence. You have to choose the markets smartly, which are similar in regulation, which actually have similar in customer behavior. So they will help you scale faster because you're not changing a lot in your business model. Lastly, I would say is data monetization. A lot of companies would think, I acquire customers first, and then I think about a data monetization capability. Platform businesses and fintech, the power is in the data. And the future is how you would monetize the data for different players in the ecosystem, right? So thinking about that well in advance. So those are the three things that I would say.
Great. Thank you very much, Amnah. Please
Thank
give her
you.
a warm round of thanks. Sorry, can't get the words out. We'll take a quick